Hey, this is the Meandering Rights. This week we've been at IKEA. We are Swedish, right? It's like part of our citizenship law. We have to go to an IKEA if there's an IKEA nearby. So we did that. We had lunch. You'll see more. We've been at the beach. We have been... What else did we do? Oh, at Monsanto Park, really huge park in Lisbon. We'll show you all of that. But before we do any of that, I have to show you little Annabelle, because she's so cute. All right, I'm biased, but I think she's really cute, so I had to just put that in there. I had some clips of her roaming around singing in the local supermarket called, I thought it was called Continente, but the E at the end is silent, so it's just Continent. Still learning the language. I've bit my tongue, so I keep biting it again. It kind of hurts too. Anyway, this week we've been at IKEA. We've also been at a really large park in Lisbon called Monsanto Park. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly. If I look really closely at what it's like called something like Park in... I'll get to that later. I don't know. Monsanto Park anyway. We've been at the beach, or look at the waves at the ocean, which was really cool. Girls got to play in the sand, we got to hang out, I got to try out a little bit more fun stuff with the gimbal, that's what that thing is called. It's actually, I'm looking at it, you're sitting on it. The weather's been kind of decent, kind of okay. We've had a couple of rainy days, we've had a couple of sunny days. Anyhow, in a couple of days it's supposed to get warm again, like 19 degrees Celsius, so it's pretty warm. Of course, we had to spend some time outside, so I took the girls down to the water anyway. We watched the waves. Girls thought it was fun while they were eating, and then when the food was gone, then it was just cold, and Annabelle wanted to go home. But it is really cool to see the older two, how they're almost like bonding. I guess they are bonding, they are sisters. But hanging out, looking out over the ocean, and just the two of them. Oh yeah, of course, Claire, she realized that I don't know what she's trying to do, but she realized that trying to breathe if the wind was blowing too hard on your face is hard. I don't know if she was trying to swallow the air, eat the air, just breathe. I'm not really sure. It looked kind of fun. It looks like she's trying to eat the wind. I don't know. Fun though. All right, so we packed everybody up in the car, our little Toyota Yaris. Anyhow, we made it to IKEA, and at IKEA they have a little place. Lekland? Småland. It's called Småland, and translated that would be like small country, small land. Land for the small people, obviously. Anyhow, the girls got to play there a little bit. All right, so I noticed something. I got in line at IKEA at the restaurant, the IKEA restaurant. And in Sweden and in the US and all the IKEAs I've ever been in, there's one line, you get in line and you tell them, I want, well, meatballs in our case, of course. What else would you get at IKEA? But I got there and I'm looking, Erica has the girls somewhere else, and I'm looking at all these lines. There's multiple lines. And there are signs on top of the lines in Portuguese, of course. And I have no clue. One says tradicional, or traditional, or tradicional, probably. They don't live here, that's Spain. So tradicional, whatever, traditional. And of course I looked at traditional and I was like, yeah, traditional, Swedish traditional, that means meatballs. That's the line I want to be in. And I got in that line, the shortest line of all, and I was wondering why it's so short. But I'm smart, so I picked up my phone, Google Translate, and kind of ticked off the signs and figured out what was what. Traditional is not traditional. Well, it's probably traditional, but it's not traditional for IKEA. It's traditional for Portugal. Big difference. Anyhow, so I learned the word for meatballs. I didn't learn the word for meatballs. I figured out what the word was for meatballs and got in that line. The longest line. That's good. So people like meatballs here too. So I stood in the longest line, the meatball line, and I got meatballs for 5 people. I think that was like 50 some meatballs spread on 5 plates. Looks kind of fun. Whenever we have a minute with the kids and we want to just go out and play, the park that we often go to, Santa Marta Park, is just down the street from where we live. And you'll see hundreds of clips from here because it's a fun little park. It's right next to the ocean. Everything is right next to the ocean here in Ericeira. So in the middle of Lisbon is a big park area, not just a playground, but a park area. It's a huge green forest place. Monsanto, I'm looking at my little screen here, Monsanto. And there's a children's park. There's like 3 levels to this playground. Actual levels, like there's 3 terraces to this playground. The bottom one I think is like for the youngest, and then it goes up, or it's just how far do you want your kid to fall off when they're up playing on whatever they're playing on. So the toys get bigger as you go up. And they had a lot of fun. Annabelle will roam around there however long you let her. Claire will either hang with Annabelle or try to catch up with Estelle. And Estelle will roam through and figure out all the toys / playground things, whatever they're called. There's different themes. There were some tents. There was like a big pirate ship, or a ship, probably not pirates, but ship. After a while, again, we're noticing that Estelle is getting older, and after a while she'll get tired of this park, even this huge park, new playground. She kind of like, oh, okay, she had fun for a while, And then you could see like, okay, I'm bored. So I left Erica with the 2 younger ones, and Estelle and I, we just wandered off and explored. It's a big place. We found yet another part of the park, yet another part of the playground, I should say. And they had all kinds of fun stuff. So whenever we can, we try to grab every opportunity we can to have the girls learn something, whatever it is. We're trying to do as much as possible when it comes to like experience learning instead of just textbook learning. So instead of just reading about something and reading a book and trying to explain something, we'll try to do it using real things whenever we come across. So when Estelle found this, I guess it's like a wheel with a ball in it. It's a great opportunity to just talk about, okay, gravity, turning left and right, trying to plan your moves ahead instead of just randomly forcing the ball to go either way. So our first day in Ericeira, the driver that picked us up at the airport, when he took us to Ericeira, he took the long way in, and he came in from the north side, and he passed by a lookout point by, let me look at the text here, Praia de Ribeira de Ilhas? I'm not really sure. Either or, Ilhas or Dilas or whatever. I sound like one of these tourists that doesn't really care. I am really trying to learn some of the words of Portuguese. Anytime I can, I ask locals, or at least people who are fluent in Portuguese, to help me out, so if I can get it right. Turns out there's like a restaurant, a cafe, like a big like a deck, I guess, patio, whatever. There's lots of people there. This was the weekend, so lots of people were there enjoying the sun, enjoying the beach. Cool beach north of Ericeira. We were at the lookout point, and then we cruised down to the actual beach. There's like big cliffs surrounding it, and this is where a river comes out to the ocean. So you play on the beach, and there's this little river that meanders out. Meandering rights, good. Meanders out to the ocean. There's like a cafe, and there's a restaurant, and there's like a big deck or a patio or whatever you want to call it. And this was the weekend, so there were lots of people there enjoying the sun, enjoying the surf. There was a surf school going on, lots of fun stuff, right? We try to make sure that the girls see mommy and daddy doing exercise, right? So that they understand that this is part of a healthy lifestyle. So Erica did some running on the beach. The older two girls, both Estelle and Claire, joined her a little bit each. Annabelle is still too young to be running in the sand. That might be considered child torture, but she hung out with me. But it's fun to see the girls play at the beach. It's fun to see them hang out with each other. It's also interesting for them, for me, to see them learn about the ocean. Last week we visited Oceanarium, the Oceanarium. Remember, I still don't know how to say that, but the aquarium. We visited that, and it teaches the girls a lot about water and fish and the environment and being kind to the environment. But that's not the only thing. Hanging out at the ocean, you can also you learn to read the waves. You can see where you can stand to get your feet wet and where you're not safe. How far is this wave going to come up on the beach and all these things. It's fun to see them learn that and get to experience this firsthand. So after the beach, we headed up to this restaurant / cafe. And we had brought some snacks, dried fruit, I think it was, and some water. So we were doing our Swedish fika, our snack time, I guess, there, watching the surfers come out of the ocean and go to their cars. Actually, they weren't going to the cars; they were going to go have beers. We watched the surfers come out of the water. We watched other people play. There were dogs. Good times were had by most, maybe all. And this place is like the southern point of like a surfing mecca. It's not called that. It's called something else. It's like a surfing national park. I'll see if I can remember to figure out what it was actually called. But it starts there and it goes a couple of kilometers up the coast. I think it was Europe's first. I don't know if it's the only one, but it's like a national park for surfing. Beaches are really nice, and these cliffs up the whole coast are really amazing. After our time at this beach, we actually went further north. Now that we have a car, yippee! We drove up just to kind of see what it looks like, and it's very different. Ericeira is one type of town, and then when you get outside, you quickly you're out in the by like smaller farms. You're out in the boonies pretty quick, and then you pop into small like really small villages up the coast. Really pretty. But Ericeira seems to be a very internationalized little town, I guess.